Hello, I'm Mark Lanes from Healer's Hands. I work down in southwest Wales in the UK. I've been a practicing therapist for over 20 years. Today I want to talk to you about emotional stress release and ancestral stress release. Emotional stress release was devised by my mother. We use dowsing to initiate release or the help of release for the client of emotions. I adapted my mother's treatment, emotional stress release, and realized that most of my problems were my ancestors' problems. And as such, I needed to clear those for me to move forward. What do we do during emotional stress release? We use dowsing to find the seat of the problem. The problem is that most of us have a story and we believe that story. For me, if I had been asked up to the age of 20, 21, what my problem was, I would have given a story which was possibly incorrect because I didn't know the full story. I was born in 1962, but I didn't know until I was around the age of 20 that I actually had a second sister. I've got one older sister, and between me and her, we knew nothing about another sister. It turned out that my second sister was born on the 12th of April 1961, and she died on the 21st of May 1961. My parents were then told to have another child that would sort out all the emotions, and that's when I was born. 21st of May 1962, 12 months to the day she died. Now, I didn't realise until I'd had children that the issues and the problems that my mother would have had obviously went through the child. And as such, I must have carried a lot of emotions. But I wouldn't have known that. Well, I wouldn't have known that until the age of 20 that there was a problem. I would have blamed friends, work, school, whatever. I believe that dowsing gets to the crux of the problem because we're not asking the person what the problem is. We are using dowsing to find when the problem is, what age, and finding keywords to help them release these issues. It sounds like a very simplistic therapy, and it is very simple to do and to train, as we have trained a lot of people in it. But the release can be very, very quick. I've worked with a lot of people with a lot of problems, and their issues have released. And even the most traumatic instances, one person said to me, "I can't believe it's so easy." So we douse on the age and we find a particular or word, feeling word, and we ask the person to do a physical release using hands or fingers and arms, and just using the statement, "I release the particular problem from this particular year." I realized that because we were working with your life at the present moment, so for me, I'm 57 at the present moment, so I've got birth and up to my 58th year because I'm 57 and 6 months and so many days at the time of this video. I realized because my ancestors were German and they went through the First World War in England and my great-grandfather was interned. I realised that he was a German baker and obviously used to cook, and I cook a lot in the house, and I realised that this was probably coming through my DNA, my gene pool, and obviously giving me the information from my ancestors. When I realised that the good things came through, I realised that the bad things also came through. When I was a child, and for most of my life I was shy, I didn't think I had a lot to give to the world, and people who I would class friends at school probably didn't even realise I existed because I didn't say a lot. I realised that this was probably a problem from my great-grandfather, because during the war in London, a German baker was obviously not highly thought of, and as such I would have imagined that he hid himself away. So I realised that we needed to look through our ancestral pool as well, because there's a lot of issues and problems. I've found a lot of issues for women. It seems to be that most women have issues similar to their mothers for birth, and their grandmothers, their great-grandmothers, and I had one lady who came to see me because she couldn't have a child for whatever reason. And I believe the problem, after working with her, was because she had had an abortion sometime during her life, and her body and her mind hadn't accepted that problem, and as such wasn't allowing her to go through the trauma of another birth. So we use a dowsing. I won't explain dowsing in this, but I believe that we're connecting to the person through the dowsing, cutting through all the stories and all the issues and problems. As I said to you before, if I was asked up to the age of 21 what my problem was, I would have given incorrect information. I hope this explains to you a little bit about the emotional stress release. If you've got any questions or queries, please feel free to ask them. If you like this video, please give a thumbs up, and I'll see you in the next video. Thank you. Goodbye.